Hey everyone, and welcome to this channel. Here we talk about some interesting music facts, composers, musical instruments, and even crazy theories. Don't forget to check other videos. You can also find lots of other stuff like violin tutorials, covers, and even originals. I also have lots of free violin scores and those that you can purchase for only $1. Plus, you can also check my ebook collection of scores for 2022-2023. Check the links below and don't forget to comment. Let's begin! The history of recorded music marks its beginning in 1877 by Thomas Edison, who invented the phonograph. Unlike previous attempts at sound recording, which could only capture sound but not play it back, Edison's phonograph recorded sound onto a tinfoil sheet wrapped around a rotating cylinder. When the cylinder rotated, a stylus, or recording needle, would trace a groove in the foil while vibrations from sound waves moved it up and down, creating indentations that mirrored the sound waves. To play back the sound, the process was simply reversed. The stylus traveled over the grooves and the vibrations were amplified, recreating the original sound. This ability to record and replay sound was something new and unseen before. Initially, the phonograph was seen more as kind of a scientific curiosity, and Edison imagined several uses for his invention, such as recording telephone conversations, dictation and office recording, teaching elocution, music boxes and toys, recording the last words of dying people. Despite these visions, the phonograph's first practical use was in business for dictation, known as the Ediphone or dictaphone. The phonograph's potential for entertainment soon became much more visible. It started to become commercially available in the late 1880s and was marketed as a family entertainment device. People could buy pre-recorded cylinders of music, speeches, or comedic routines. The phonograph also had a significant cultural impact. It changed the way people accessed and experienced music. Before its invention, music was limited to live performances or personal play in homes. The phonograph made it possible to listen to performances without attending them, expanding access to music across different social classes and geographic locations. Over time, the phonograph itself saw many improvements. The initial tinfoil recordings were low in quality and degraded quickly. In the 1880s, Alexander Graham Bell, Charles Sumner Tainter, and Chichester Bell introduced the graphophone, which used wax-coated cylinders offering better sound quality and durability. Then later, Emil Berliner developed the gramophone, which played flat discs instead of cylinders. These discs were easier to manufacture, store, and ship, making them more popular than Edison's cylinders. The gramophone was a big improvement over the phonograph. While Edison's device recorded sound on a cylinder, Berliner's gramophone used a flat disc, which was a revolutionary idea at the time. The flat disc was not only easier to produce, but also allowed for simpler storage and more straightforward mass production compared to cylindrical recordings. Berliner's gramophone worked by engraving audio information on the surface of a disc using a master stamp. This disc was then rotated on the gramophone and a needle traced the grooves, vibrating to reproduce the recorded sound through a horn. The early gramophone discs were made from a variety of materials, including hard rubber and zinc, and then coated with a layer of very fine shellac powder. By the early 20th century, shellac records, made from a mixture of shellac, a resin secreted by the lac bog, slate dust, wax, and other fillers, became standard. These records were typically 10 inches or 12 inches in diameter and played at speeds around 78 revolutions per minute, or RPM. Shellac records were fragile and could crack very easily, but they remained the dominant medium for recorded sound until the mid-20th century. The format's popularity was amplified by its ability to mass-produce records for a cheaper price, making recorded music more accessible to the general public. For the first time, people could listen to music performed by artists they never hoped to see live. This not only democratized music consumption, but also helped popularize various musical genres and artists. The ability to mass-produce records transformed the music industry, giving rise to the modern concept of music stars and pop charts. It also created a new economic model where musicians could earn royalties from record sales instead of relying solely on live performances. Despite their popularity, shellac records had limitations in duration of play. These issues were addressed with the introduction of LP and vinyl records in the 1940s, which offered better durability, sound quality, and longer playback times. Soon they replaced shellac records records, marking the next significant evolution in recording technology. LP records are characterized by their speed of 33 1/3 revolutions per minute, or RPM, and typically come in a 12-inch format. This combination allows each side of an LP to hold approximately 20 to 25 minutes of music compared to the 78 revolutions per minute records, which could only hold about 3 to 4 minutes per side. LPs are made from polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, commonly known simply as vinyl. This material is quieter than the shellac and allows for finer grooves to be cut into the record's surface, which results in better sound quality. This upgraded groove technology helped in achieving a wider dynamic range and a richer audio spectrum. Plus, vinyl was more durable than shellac, making LPs less likely to break and cheaper to produce in the long run. LPs enabled artists to create albums as pieces of art with thematic and musical continuity, which made them very popular. Very soon, albums became a primary medium for music consumption. The larger size of LPs offered more space for album artwork and liner notes, which became an integral part of the music experience. Iconic album covers became part of popular culture, and liner notes often included lyrics, credits, and commentary, enriching the listener's engagement with the music. But everything changed with the cassette tape. The compact cassette was introduced in the early 1960s by Philips. It was more portable than vinyl and allowed consumers to record and play back their own mixes, leading to a boom in tape trading and personalized music experiences. Cassettes were especially popular in car audio systems. Introduced in the 1940s, magnetic tape revolutionized recording in several key ways. Magnetic tape offered a wider frequency range and better signal-to-noise ratio compared to previous recording mediums like shellac records. This resulted in clearer, richer sound recordings. Unlike direct-to-disc recording methods, magnetic tape allowed for recording, erasing, and re-recording multiple times. This allowed producers and musicians to edit and splice tape, contributing to more complex productions. Plus, invented by Les Paul in the early 1950s, multi-track recording on magnetic tape allowed different parts of musical performance to be recorded separately and then layered together. This technology gave artists and producers absolute control over the sound of their recordings and was instrumental in the development of many new music genres. A typical cassette tape consisted of 2 reels, one for supply and one for take-up, which hold the magnetic tape. The cassette case, usually made of plastic, protected the tape and provided a mechanism for the tape to be exposed during playback or recording without being touched directly by human hands. The tape used in cassettes was coated with a magnetizable material that stored audio signals as magnetic patterns. Cassettes allowed users to easily carry music with them and play it in various settings, such as in cars, personal stereos, and boomboxes. They were also cheaper to produce and purchase than vinyl records, which helped them become a dominant form of music distribution at the time. It enabled more musicians to produce and distribute their music independently, helping to foster the growth of underground and independent music scenes. Plus, the ability to record on cassettes led to the mixtape culture, where individuals curated and shared their own selections of music, creating personalized compilations. In 1982, we entered a digital era of music with the introduction of the compact disc, or CD. CDs offered clearer sound quality and were more durable than their analog predecessors. The digital format also paved the way for computer-based music production and editing. CDs were developed through a collaboration between Philips and Sony. The technology was officially introduced in 1982, with Philips contributing the manufacturing process and Sony developing the digital encoding. The idea was to store and play back sound recorded in digital format, offering greater fidelity and durability compared to analog formats like the cassette tape. Unlike previous audio formats that stored sound analogically, CDs stored audio in a digital format. This means the sound was encoded in binary data, which reduced degradation of quality from playback and copying. The digital nature of CDs allowed for easier navigation through tracks and more precise control over playback, which was not possible with analog formats like vinyl records and cassettes. A standard CD was able to hold approximately 74 to 80 minutes of audio audio or 650 to 700 megabyte of data. This capacity was revolutionary at the time, allowing for longer albums and uninterrupted playback. CDs were made from a 120 mm diameter polycarbonate plastic disc coated with a thin layer of aluminum to make the disc reflective and protected by a layer of clear acrylic, which made them less prone to scratches and environmental conditions than vinyl records and cassettes. Data was stored in a spiral track of bits and lands, non-reflective and reflective areas, starting from the inner area to the outer edge. The introduction of CDs transformed the music industry, boosting album sales and changing music distribution and consumption. Record stores began to shift from vinyl and cassettes to CDs, and portable CD players became popular. The ability to skip tracks instantly and the introduction of random shuffle features changed how consumers interact with albums, potentially emphasizing single tracks over full albums. CDs also impacted the recording industry by encouraging higher production values and the digital recording of music. This led to the loudness war, where music was mastered to increasingly high volumes to stand out on the format. The next step in the music industry belongs to MP3 and the rise of file sharing. The rise of MP3 and file sharing in the late 1990s and early 2000s revolutionized the music industry and transformed how people accessed and shared music. This period marked a significant shift in both technology and consumer behavior. The MP3 or MPEG-1 audio layer 3 format was developed in the early 1990s as a way to compress audio files without significantly losing quality. This made it possible to reduce the size of music files to about 1/10 of their original size, making them much easier to store and transfer. Their small file size allowed for easy storage on computers and portable devices. Plus, they had an acceptable audio quality despite compression. All of it finally enabled faster download times over the internet, which was crucial given the slower internet speeds of the time and allowed people to share and download MP3 files directly from each other's hard drives, bypassing traditional music distribution channels through a new platform called Napster. It was launched in 1999 by Sean Fanning and Sean Parker and became one of the first popular peer-to-peer or P2P file sharing services. It quickly gained millions of users, providing access to a vast library of music, often for free, which was particularly appealing to younger audiences and those without disposable income. Obviously, after a while, Napster faced significant legal challenges from the music industry, particularly from major record labels and artists who argued that it was enabling widespread copyright infringement. In 2001, a court order forced Napster to shut down its file-sharing service, marking the beginning of a series of legal battles between the music industry and various file-sharing platforms. After Napster's shutdown, other P2P networks like Kazaa, LimeWire, and Edonkey 2000 gained popularity. These platforms often operated in more decentralized ways to evade legal repercussions. And of course, let's not forget our favorite BitTorrent technology, which also emerged, allowing for the distribution of larger files and further complicating efforts to control file sharing. Despite legal actions against platforms and individual users, file sharing remained rampant, and the industry struggled to find effective ways to combat piracy, which forced them to rethink the business models and explore new revenue streams. Soon after launched in 2003, Apple's iTunes became a notable example, offering a legitimate and convenient way to purchase and download music. Subscription-based streaming services like Spotify eventually gained traction, providing legal alternatives to file sharing and helping to stabilize the industry. The most recent evolution in music recording and consumption is the rise of streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. These platforms provide access to vast libraries of music for a subscription fee, offering users the ability to listen to music anywhere and anytime. Streaming has become the dominant mode of music consumption today, shaping the industry in terms of accessibility, distribution, and revenue models. First of all, users can listen to any song, album, or playlist at any time. The services use algorithms to recommend music based on listening history, creating personalized playlists and radio stations. It can be available on various devices, including smartphones, tablets, computers, and smart speakers, making music accessible anytime, anywhere. Most services offer free, ad-supported versions alongside premium, ad-free subscriptions with additional features like offline listening and higher audio quality. By the end of 2010, streaming became the dominant source of revenue for the the music industry, surpassing physical sales and digital downloads. Artists and rights holders receive royalties based on the number of streams, though the payout per stream is often criticized for being low. Streaming platforms have created new opportunities for artists to reach global audiences without the need for traditional record labels. Plus, access to detailed user data allows artists and labels to make more informed decisions about marketing and tour planning. Despite the overall growth in revenue, many artists and songwriters argue that the per-stream payout is insufficient, leading to debates about fair compensation. Moreover, streaming services collect vast amounts of user data, raising privacy concerns about how this data is used and shared. With AI technologies, we have continued improvements in recommendation algorithms, enhancing the personalization of music experiences. AI-driven recommendation systems analyze user behavior, such as listening history, likes, and skips to suggest music, podcasts, and videos tailored to individual preferences. Machine learning models continually learn and adapt to user tastes, improving the accuracy of recommendations over time, as seen with Spotify's Discover Weekly and Apple Music's For You playlists. AI curates playlists based on genres, moods, and activities, creating highly personalized listening experiences and helping users discover new content aligned with their interests. It can create playlists for specific contexts like workout sessions, relaxation, or commuting by understanding the nuances of user preferences and contextual data such as time of day and location. AI can analyze and tag audio files with metadata such as genre, mood, tempo, and key, improving searchability and recommendation accuracy. It can also provide deeper insights into tracks such as identifying instruments used, lyrical themes, and even the emotional tone of a piece, enhancing the depth of metadata available. Let's also include its help with complex licensing agreements and ensure proper royalty payments by tracking content usage and ownership rights accurately. AI tools can identify unauthorized use of copyrighted content, helping to protect intellectual property and combat piracy. In summary, AI is a futuristic component in the evolution of streaming services, driving personalization, enhancing user experience, optimizing content delivery, and providing valuable business insights. However, it also brings challenges and ethical considerations that need to be addressed to ensure a fair and inclusive digital ecosystem. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below which topic you prefer to hear next. I also have great news for those who listen to my violin covers because I just released my new cover on Greedy by Tate McRae. It's available on all the streaming platforms, so choose your favorite and check it out. I really hope you're gonna like it. Please don't forget to like and follow to support this channel. Thank you and see you soon.